There we go. Good evening, everybody. Well, it's a wee bit earlier than usual, about 3.5 hours early, but welcome. We hope you're all enjoying the sunshine. I know in Scotland we've had a heat wave for about 3-4 days now. I've had shorts on. I've seen that look there, Matt. I've seen the Scotland heat wave.
Yep. You're not alone. You're not alone, guys. We've got it here too.
Well, it's very unusual for us to have, heat. Usually it's rain and wind and stuff like that, but I've been able to put the shorts on, so it's all good stuff. So tonight, or to this evening, this afternoon, just now, I'll just say just now, it's easier. We are welcoming back Mr. Matt Barron, the Paranormal Consultant. Now, Matt's been on at me to get back on the show for a long time, We've actually just missed each other, date-wise. We finally managed to grab him. So thanks for coming in, buddy. It's good to see you again.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. I've had so much fun the first time, and it's, I just absolutely love it. Let me just start off by saying first that you guys in the UK are fantastic. I love you guys to death. I mean, yeah, the time zones screw us up, but I've worked with so many people from all over the US, and then once we started networking to the UK side, you guys are just so welcoming and so loving and so supportive, and I really greatly appreciate it. And you guys are all a blessing.
Well, we are kind of different over here. There's Laura. Laura's one here. Laura's part of our team. It was her birthday yesterday. Laura turned 47 yesterday.
Oh, well, I think you could have just stopped with the birthday, given the age.
She wasn't 47, but I just like to wind her up.
That's fine. Well, anyway, happy belated, Laura.
I just like to, but it is a different kind of paranormal for the UK. All right, the paranormal is the same thing, but the UK's TV's got a kind of different style for America.
I do see a little bit of a different style from how we do things here than what you guys do. But there's a lot of similarities as well. And I think there has to be, because Scott, we were chatting behind the scenes, backstage, there's a lot of things that we do very similar, a lot of things, no matter what it is in life and in general, but you guys have a culture, and I think that's what it is. I think it's just a culture thing. Your culture is a lot different than what ours is. And just like here in the States, you go to a different state or different country or wherever, you have to adapt to that culture. And I feel the paranormal is the same way, because as we've stated before, these spirits or entities, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, they will have the same thing. A lot of these intelligent hauntings will be the same way. They'll have that culture, and you have to adapt to it.
Exactly. I mean, as you say, the intelligent hauntings, I was saying it last night as well in last night's show. The spirit is the same in life as they are when they're on the other side, so they have their cultures over in the physical life, and they'll have the same culture in the spiritual, spirit life. So you have to kind of adapt. To me, it's a lot different. You could be talking maybe for a spirit for the 20th century, and then maybe a spirit for the 16th century.
Oh, yeah.
They're like 400 years apart, and obviously they don't, 16th century, right? No, understand gadgets, and obviously they don't understand gadgets and tech kind of thing. Whereas a 20th century spirit might, understand better. I know we've had you on before, Mark, but we started a new group last week, a private group. So we got different people going to be watching. We're going to have the same people watching, but different people. So I'm going to ask you a couple of the usual mundane questions, I'm afraid. I hate asking. I feel like I've asked them 200 times,
I know that feeling.
And you think, no. You kind of want to take your show in a different direction. You don't want to be special. You just kind of want to put a different swing on it, because no disrespect to a lot of shows, but they start and it's the same questions every single time. And when you watch, you know what's coming.
You know, maybe that we could use that to our advantage. Us as hosts, we can use that and get another host on. Like, I'll bring you on to my show. We already know the questions, and we'll just say that you have abilities, and you can read our minds and just answer the questions before they're asked.
That'd be well. I'm up for that. I'm up for we like a good laugh on this channel, you know, which we do with respect, obviously, but we like to look at the paranormal for a lighter side. You know, you get these channels, you watch them, and they're very strict and you know serious. And I've said it before, you just want to go to your own funeral watching them. You know,
You know, and that's fine. Like I feel like that, and I've said this on my show too. You know, if you want to be serious about it, that's fine. Because let's be honest, when you're out investigating, you have to be serious for a majority of it. But it's okay to have fun. If you're gonna have a show, if you're gonna investigate live and have people watching you do this, you have to have a personality. You have to be able to be entertaining because that's going to get people to come back more and more. If you can have fun, and I'm not saying like make it a comedy show. I'm not saying anything like that, like a stand-up thing, but at least be entertaining. Have some fun with it. Have some fun with your audience. Be engaging. You know, don't be, you know, really, as we say, dry. You know, monotone. Just what is your name? No, screw that. Have fun with it. Have fun.
I know I agree 100%. We had Rose Cardy and Jamie Keenan, Rosie, no Rose, sorry, she used to be with PTTP. And we were talking about that last night as well. That you need to have fun with it, you need to enjoy it. And also, you know, with your audience, you know, they're looking for something different. They're looking to be entertained, for want of a better word.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I've watched some shows and I've turned it off after 10 minutes, thinking, I just cannot watch this anymore. You know, it's unwatchable. So that's why we like to do our lives kind of laid back. You know, so obviously when Sarah and I first started doing this, we were kind of with a list of questions, you know, and because we'd never done it before.
Yeah, of course.
With a list of it, I think it was about 20 questions. But what we found was it was more like an interrogation.
Yeah.
You know, the big bright light and what is your name? Tell us, you know.
I've got a lot of them. You got a lot of
bright
lights.
Maybe 3 or 4 shows, and then we thought, do you know what? No, this isn't going to work. It's no. So the list went trash.
And I'm the same way, brother. I'm the same way. Like when I first started my show, I originally started doing my show as kind of a how-to, kind of like how to investigate, how to find locations, how to do EVP sessions, you know, stuff like that. Just basic how-to. And then when I started actually interviewing people, I kind of did the same thing. I kind of had a couple of little notes written down, but I realized that's not me. That's not who I am. Like whenever you meet somebody, you want to get to know them in a certain way. Like it's like, how do you meet new friends? You go out, you don't have a list of questions. You just ask them. So what do you like to do? What do you know, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do with this? What do you do with that? And you get to know that person. And that's how I wanted to do my show. And I kept thinking to myself, you know, I'm not just interviewing people. I'm making friends. I'm networking. I'm making friends. And, you know, I've been blessed now to have a family, an extended family that reaches all over the world with, you know, my P3 program and Parapost and a bunch of other people. I've met some amazing individuals and amazing teams. And it's through that personality and networking. It's not interview them and check off the list. Okay, well, they answered that right. They answered that right. They answered that. Oh, no. You know, it's not like that. You want people to want to come on and want to have fun.
Aye, no, totally, 1,000%. You know, because I feel that you see, you're asking questions about the paranormal. People aren't getting to know them as a person. They're getting to know the paranormal side of it, but they're not getting to know, you know, like say for instance, Patty Negri.
Yeah,
Just an example. people were getting to know the paranormal side of Patty Negri, but they weren't getting to know who Patty Negri was,
Yep.
if that makes sense. Which is, to me, it's important, you know. Hey, Facebook user, I hope we're well, buddy. Hope you're well. So it's important because we've seen quite a few times, Matt, that anybody that's not into the paranormal thinks that anybody that is are all weirdos. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And oddly enough, that's exactly like the state where I'm at here in Pennsylvania. Like where I'm located is right dead center in the state. Well, almost dead center, right about in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And the paranormal is what we call taboo. You don't talk about it. They don't care. They're very Christian based, very religious, or it's either religious or nothing. And that's kind of where we're at. And to talk about the paranormal or the supernatural, it's not welcomed. Unlike, out in San Diego, where I first started, you could promote the crap out of it. And everybody would, flock in and find out more. Here you have to be very quiet about it. And I actually have on my truck Paranormal Consultant across the windshield, right up top, right? Nice big. And it's really helps because here there are people that believe in the paranormal. There are people who want to investigate and who want to find out more, but they don't know where to go because it is so quiet. So, I'm what I'm trying to do and what my wife is trying to do is we're not trying just to make it worldwide for everybody. We're trying to make it even here at home. And that's why we started this. It's originally started out for here in Pennsylvania, but thanks to a lot of influences for people, it went all over the place now.
That's as you say about the networking and meeting people. I mean, as I said before the show, I'm from Glasgow, and now Sarah and I live in a town called Kilmarnock, which is about 20 miles west of Glasgow. We're near the west coast of Scotland. We're nothing special, we're not. We only started this just roughly about 2 years ago, but the amount of people we've met, like say yourself, I had to say that. I had to say yourself, obviously. And like people from America, Australia, it's people we would never ever have met if that's Sten, Silent Hunter. Give him a look up, Matt. Silent Hunter. Then he's only started doing. He done his first live last week, and it's really good. So I think he's going live before the end of this week again. But definitely get a wee look up. But honestly, we've met people we would never have met, and if we hadn't have done this, if we hadn't have started interviewing. I mean, like Patty Negri, David Espinosa, Rick McCullough, people that I would never ever have met, but now I talk to them quite regular.
Well, I mean, it was the same way with my show. If you would have told me, well, let's see, I've been running just over a year. So if you would have told me a year and a half ago, roughly, when I wanted to start this up, that I'd be, chatting with individuals like yourself and a couple other great people, and I'd be known worldwide. I'd been like, yeah, okay, bud, whatever you're smoking, give me some, because that's some good stuff. I mean, that's really heavy stuff. And I wouldn't have believed it. And now, looking back, I've had some, and I feel bad because I want to catch up with some of these guests, but I've had some amazing people on my show. I mean, I've had absolutely great guests. And you said Patty Negri, she's on my list too. I've spoken with her with Brian Laverty when we did the Women Investigate 2 episode. Beautiful soul. I love Patty. She's great.
Oh, she's amazing.
Michelle Rouse. Michelle Rouse was another one. She has a lot of energy, very outgoing, has a wonderful personality, and I had her on my show. And I would have never thought that I'd have her on. And it just goes to show that, this networking that we're doing and we're able to do. I mean, we were talking again backstage about how it used to be
back in the day.
Oh yeah, back then, like, this wouldn't have never happened. There was no way that we would talk to anybody from different countries unless we'd go there. And now we're
I
able to network with everybody.
write them letters, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, that'd be a weird show.
You know, I mean that's what I think surprised me about, you know. I'm just use Patty again as an example. How down to earth these people are. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when I first contacted Patty, I thought, well, never, you know, she's never going to agree, no chance.
Oh yeah.
But she's, you know, yeah, sure, let's do it. Video call me, you know. And so we'd set, it was a Wednesday at 5 p.m. our time, we set a video call for, and Sarah and I were going to talk to, because after I contacted her, I started digging and digging, and then I realised just how big, I didn't realise how big this lady is. And that's what I said to Sarah. So when we started, all right, you know, you're counting the minutes, you know, right, 5 o'clock, call her, you know, and we video called her, and within about 60 seconds, within about a minute, it was just general chit chat, totally relaxed, and you know, and we came off the call, and we're thinking, you know, wow, she's like the woman next door.
Yep.
You know, she's got, you know, her credentials, and she is who she is. But just talking to her, and then she was doing the Game of Thrones tour. It was meant to come in May 2021, and contacted me and say, "Listen, I'm going to Ireland. You guys in Scotland, I want you to come over." I says, "What, to Ireland?" She says, "Yeah, but not to the events. I want to meet you in my hotel, and we'll hang out. We'll have dinner, and I've got a day off. Come over when I've got my day off, and we can go touring."
Nice.
And you just come over as my guest. So, but then, you know, the pandemic hit, so the tour got cancelled.
Yeah.
But we were taken aback. This is Patty Negri asking us to, you know, go to Ireland for dinner, and out there on our day off. You know, we thought,
Well, it's like Patty Adams from the G Team, Paranormal. She's in our P3 family, and she's the most down to earth person you'll ever meet in your life. She's upfront, she's honest, and she's a great person. She's absolutely amazing. And you know, I think a lot of people, you know, they hear the name and they get like, there's somebody.
that's actually stays about 5 minutes away from us. Our daughter had a sports day at school today, you know, and Laura and her husband Craig, they went as well, and she kept wanting to take my hat because it was really, really warm today, and she kept trying to steal my hat, but she likes to kind of, you know, slag me off basically.
Oh, I have mine too. But no, and you know, when I met Patty for the first time, Patty Adams, I didn't know who she was, and then I was told, you know, she's from the G Team Paranormal. Now, I don't really look at a lot of people's like Facebook or YouTube. Like I'll network a little bit here and there, but I don't do a lot of digging. Like I don't go for the most popular or the viral people. I look for the newer teams, and those are the people I want to hang out with. And when I was told about Patty, I was like, oh wow, she's got a couple, you know, 100,000 subscribers and this and that. I was like, all right, well, I'll chat with her. And when I first met her face to face was at the USS North Carolina. She was amazing. It was like meeting a family member. Like she's so down to earth, so much fun to hang out with. She loves this field. And I feel like that's how a lot of these people are. Like a lot of people, some obviously are out for the money. They're out for the fame and the fortune, which God bless you if that's what you want to do. Have fun with it. I wish you the best. But you see the people who have the passion for our field, and those are the people that we want to network with, isn't it? You know, you don't.
Yeah.
I've said a couple times on, and not just my show, but a couple others. If you're in this field to make money, you're in the wrong field. If anything, we're in this field to spend money because our equipment's expensive. Travel is expensive.
It does, you know, it mounts up, as we say in the UK, but you're totally 100% on. There are, there are teams, we know some of them. Also, we don't name them, but they are just wanting the fame or that TV show. And I've said quite a few times, and I swear down on my grand's ashes, if like Sky TV knocked to my front door tomorrow and says we want you to do a show, I'd tell them to get stuffed. I don't know, go away.
I actually had. I had an opportunity to have my own TV show when I was out in San Diego, California. I had my own team. We made a pretty good name for ourselves, and we were asked to do a TV show. Nothing major, just a local, show. And they wanted us to change a bunch of different things, including faking evidence and everything else. They said we want the entertainment, we want the ratings. I told them flat out, I said, listen, you came to me and my team for a reason. I'm not changing anything. No. I said, I can tell you where you can take that contract. You're not going to like it. You won't be able to sit for a while, but you can take it and put it there because I'm giving you the real evidence. We'll give you we'll let our personality shine through. And that's the way it's going to be. And they weren't too happy about it. And I feel the same way now. I feel the exact same way.
I totally agree. But if a TV company usually come to you and say, right, we want you to do this and do that, and you're lying to whoever's watching you. You're lying to yourself, and everything that you've worked for, and worked towards, it just goes down the drain.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's nothing wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. And I've stated this before. There's nothing wrong with people that go out there and fake their evidence. Like there's one show, I think we all know who it is, who goes out and fakes a lot of things. Let's be honest. They have to. They've even admitted they fake their evidence. I've got no issues with that. Just do everyone a favor. Do us all a favor and put for entertainment only. Put that disclaimer somewhere in that show because, in my opinion, you are hurting our field, not promoting it. Because think of it this way, there's a lot of people, a lot of the public who watch these shows. They have an instance, like say they hear knocking in their house. So what do? They watch these shows because they're right there. It's easy accessible. And they see people faking evidence. They see like a demon and they think that's what they have. And it scares the living crap out of them. You're hurting people. Just put for entertainment. If you want to be legit, be legit. If you want to be entertaining, be responsible and put for entertainment and put a disclaimer, say this is not real, and have fun with it. God bless you. Have fun with it. But
as Callum says exactly. Hey, Callum, though, some people have asked me, I was going to say over the years, over the months, about, I want to get into paranormal, what's the best thing to watch? And I always say to them, no offense to these big ghost shows, I always say, don't watch the big ghost shows. Go to YouTube, look up paranormal teams and look for the smaller teams.
Yep.
Look for these guys that have got nothing to prove. They don't have a boss to answer to or whatever. Don't bother going on looking at, beep on reality TV, whatever. Just go to YouTube, look up small teams and watch them.
Yep.
That's where to start. And then just start researching yourself. Because it does give the paranormal a bad name. And it makes people that just get into the paranormal think, well, this is how the paranormal is. I saw this. And so I'm going to start ghost hunting and I'm going to get all this evidence.
Not quite.
That's it. And we both know, and everyone watching both know, that's not how it works.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I've been asked that, brother. I've been asked, what's it like to investigate? I mean, I've been doing this for 16 years, and a lot of people have asked me, how do you do? Like, what is it like? What's it like out there? Honestly, go home, turn your lights off, and start talking to yourself. That's about what it is. I said it's not like the movie Paranormal Activity. It's not like what you see on TV. And I said, and actually, we had spoke with Satori Haas on the Women Investigate 2. Just luck if you get it. You're right, Karen. And she said that ghost hunters, taps, when they go to these locations, they're there for a week or two. So a 30-minute show, you're seeing in a week long. That's a week long of evidence. So that should tell you something. And that's exactly how it is here. Like, you could go out and you could go to the most haunted area that you can think of. Like, let's just say Gettysburg. I'm near Gettysburg. Let's just say Gettysburg. Everybody wants, Gettysburg to be the most haunted location in the world or in the US, whatever. And I actually do too. I actually use their show, the first 4 seasons, as training for ghost hunters. But majority of the time you go out there, and Scott, I know you know this just as well, brother. You go out to a field, a cemetery, wherever, and you're just talking to yourself for the most part.
Aye, exactly. And the more we spoke about this in the last few shows, that a lot of locations over here, probably the same in America, Matt, that they get the reputation, they get all the hype. This place is real. I mean, I'm always using it, but Greyfriars in Edinburgh, it's supposed to be the most haunted kirkyard in the world. We've been there numerous times, and I don't think it's not the most haunted graveyard in the world. It's no. Investigations are banned there now, but we didn't know that. So we investigated a couple of times. The only thing we picked up on was a male, and you're talking about seconds, 5, 10, and he was gone. And we've been there all different times, morning, afternoon. We've been there at 3 in the morning, and we've had nothing except flat batteries. So I totally agree with Mark. You go and you can spend all night and come back with just a bunch of flat batteries.
Oh yeah.
But saying that, we were talking to Rosie and Jamie last night, something similar, that a lot of teams think, you need to get loads of evidence to have a good night. To me, that's crap. You can go out, have an investigation, have, a laughing joke with your team, maybe don't get anything, but you go home and you still had a good night. People say, well, what did you catch? I say, well, never caught anything, but, we do what we love doing it, and we were all together and we had a laugh and a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a good
and
successful.
And stated earlier, that's why, like, when you go out, you have fun. You be entertaining, you enjoy yourself. And if you catch something, great. If you don't, and half the time we don't even know if we catch anything until all the evidence is looked over. Do you listen to the recordings and stuff like that? So you don't even know if you caught anything.
Aye, that's something I was going to ask you. But I mean, don't get me wrong. There has been the occasional night we've been out and it's been raining and you've been there for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever, and you could think total waste of a night. Like the night we went to Greyfriars, we stay. We're about an hour and a half drive to Greyfriars to where we are, and we went and we had full batteries. The batteries are meant to last about an hour and a half average. Our batteries lasted 15 minutes each. So, with 30, 35 minutes, our batteries were dead. We'd no way to chat. Well, we could have charged them in the car, but that would have took an eternity. It started raining, and we thought, oh, what a crap night. So you do get the occasional nights where you go home and think, total waste of time. But as you said, the evidence. Sorry, Marlon, you go.
No. That's fine. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, we've been out nights where, we've had a lot of feelings, a lot of, shadows, oddness everywhere. But there's been nights where, like you said, it's raining, or we've even had clients. They promise, they say all these different reports, and you go in and there's nothing, and it's just quiet, But you still have to be professional about it. And you still got to do your due diligence. You still got to, go through the steps, do your EVPs, have fun, see. I mean, if the only time I ever consider an investigation wasted is not doing it. That's the only one that's ever wasted, is the one that's not, you don't do it properly.
because you never know what you might have caught, you know. And as you say, going through all the bits and pieces after, it can get boring. We done an investigation maybe about a week and a half ago now. And what we did, I put a locked off camera, and it was a graveyard. We were with Spig, it's another team. And so I put a locked off camera at the back and had a cat ball on a bit of wood inside the glass and the K2 meter up the top of the headstone. And I just left it running. It must have ran for about 2.5, 3 hours. And but I went back and forward to make sure it was still recording, because at this particular location, our cameras have a habit of turning themselves off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. No saying it's paranormal. Other teams have experienced as well. So over the next 2 days, I had to sit and just stare at this screen, watching this cat ball and K2 meter to see if it was going to go off.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it does get mind numbing, and you can't take your eyes off the screen, because no in our luck we take our eyes off it, and that's when it would flash. And I contacted one of the guys from the other team and said, "Listen, I went through that footage. There's nothing."
Oh yeah.
No. But it's afterwards when you get. Why do you think that is? I mean, we've done quite a few investigations. We came back, we've listened to the audio, and you know, Jennifer for our American team, she's fantastic. She's more audio than video, and we done one last year. We got quite a wee bit, which we all heard at the same time, but we sent her the video, etc. She came back and said, "You've got no idea what you have actually caught on this." And she said, "Listen to it back, turn off the video, put headphones on, and just..." So I started over a period of a week. Every night I was lying in bed with the headphones on, total darkness, just listening, and I started to hear all these different sounds. I mean, there was the place we were doing, it was an old abandoned mansion. It's just a shell. It's just all brick. And I could hear a mechanical sound in the background, and this runs for about 8 or 12 seconds, and then it stops. Now there's, you know, so I was thinking, there's nothing there that would make this sound, because it's a 280-acre estate, and this house sits right in the middle of it, and it's in the middle of nowhere, you know. But then I clicked on where the spot we were sitting in is beside the old lift shaft. And so I listened to it and I thought, that sounds like a lift, you know, going up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know about over here, but over here, our old-fashioned lifts, when you got to the floor, you used to get a ping.
Yeah.
At the end of the recording, you hear a slight ping. So I was saying it was, but I thought, could that be a residual of that lift?
I mean, it very well could be. See, that's the thing. A lot of mechanical, or I mean, residual as far as human spirits, very easy to decipher. I mean, it's, you know, but it could be a residual of that. It could be just a residual of the environment. It could be the house itself. Maybe the house itself is the haunting. It could just be going through its motions and just doing the whole thing. I mean, it depends on how much energy and what kind of events were there. You know what I mean? Like, if something, I mean, I could see a family estate or something like that. I could see that having a lot of residual energy and memories and emotions and everything locked in. So, I mean, it's possible. Yeah. Anything in this field is possible.
It was a family estate up until it was built in 1720, 1723. It was a family estate up until, I believe, the early 1923, I think it was. And then 1927, it was taken over by a local health authority. And there's two different accounts. One, it was a care home. The other is it was a children's psychiatric hospital. It closed in 1985, I think. So, you know, if it was a children's place, there is a story that a young girl managed to escape from the building, and she was found dead in the woods. So I get what you're saying. If it was a psychiatric hospital, then there would be, you know, a lot of stuff happened there, and it could be, you know, then the stone tape theory as well. I know a lot of people don't put a lot of faith in it, but personally, I think that, you know, there is something definitely.
See, when it comes to theories, I think I accept all theories because anything in this field is possible. But it's just telling me that the more theories there are out there, the more work we have to do. We have to, you know, so I don't know. Theories are wonderful in this field, but they're also a pain because there's always a new theory like every other day, it seems like.
Well, that's it. And then you get these people that say, you know, I'm an expert in the paranormal.
Mm-mm. No. See, I prefer the term seasoned.
Or two, I've got to shut that window. That was a motorbike. For two, I forgot that window was open. 2 seconds.
You're good. You're good.
Talk amongst yourselves.
See, this is why I also love unscripted shows. It's because you never know what's going to happen, and it's awesome.
There we go. But no,
but no, one thing I've always said in this field is, number one, if anybody claims to be an expert, they're full of it, because there's different theories every day. We don't know. I mean, what we do is not an exact science. We just take some scientific things and see if it works. That's really all it is. We're historians, we're scientists, we're, you know, counselors, we're liaisons, we're a bunch of different things all rolled into one. So I prefer, like, I've been doing this, like I said, 16 years. I've investigated over 400 homes and businesses. I've gone all over the place. I've had thousands of hours in the field. In any other field of science or anywhere, that would make me an expert. I know crap about this field.
That's
because
it.
everything's changed. Everything's changing. Everything changes every day, and there's a new theory, and we don't know what's out there. But this here again, networking, working together will eventually get us those answers. It's just getting to that point. We will eventually know what's out there. We will eventually know what's going on, but it's just going to take some time. And anybody who says they're an absolute expert is, like I said, full of it, because we are not an exact science. What we do is not, there's no instruction manual on how to do this, because like you said earlier, you guys do things differently over in the UK than what we do here in the US. There is no black and white, step-by-step way to investigate spirits. There isn't.
I mean, you get people call themselves, and then you get people call themselves a specialist. I thought, no, you know.
Now, see, there, for me, a specialist, like when you start talking specialists, like maybe cryptozoology, demonology, people who have studied a field of the paranormal, I'll give them that. But as a whole, nah, because even demonology and cryptozoology is still, you know, iffy. You just are well knowledged in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not trying to take away from anybody who has doctorates or anything like that. You know, don't get me wrong, but you have to be open to learning more. You're always learning. Nobody knows everything.
No, nobody knows. And I mean, that's the thing. You say about the networking. You learn. This is another way that you learn. I mean, we get. I was during the pandemic, during the lockdown, we get somebody commented on a YouTube channel. Where is Sten? Where's all your investigations? This was somebody asked us, where's all your investigations? We said, well, we're in the middle of lockdown.
Yep.
Where we can't go anywhere, you know. But to me, I mean, a lot of people think paranormal investigating is just going out ghost hunting. It's not. This is just my opinion. If you like it to like a crime investigation, somebody investigates a crime, they go at the scene of the crime, but they're also doing a lot of research in the background and investigating as well. And to me, the paranormal is the same. You going out ghost hunting, you're going to the scene of the crime, kind of
You,
thing.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Like like we said earlier, we're not just investigators. We are when you investigate, you have to be. I like to call us active as historians.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do. We look at the history of a location when we find out what's happened there, any type of event, what are the backstories, who was involved with it, and a bunch of different things, and including property, who owned it, what who owned it this time, who owned it that time, now who owns it now, what's going on now. It's an ever changing field. It's
Mm-hmm.
never the same.
You need to look, but I mean, I've known teams who go investigate. They don't have a clue about the location, and they'll pick up, names and stuff, and they'll make their own story up.
Oh yeah, no, never make anything up. Never.
And they'll say, well, this is this, and she was here and she was there. Rather than go away, what we tend to do is we'll go and investigate, and then if we get names, whatever, now and again we've had a full name first and surname as well. We'll look up and we'll try and see if we can find, any connection between that name and the place we were at. And it's kind of like, you're probably the same, buddy. I think if you go to the location over and over, you start to build up a picture of, it's a puzzle. You get wee bits and pieces of information. You say, well, maybe that clicks in there, or maybe it doesn't. We can keep that till later, see if we get something else that maybe fits. And that's part of the thrill as well, I think, for me. The not knowing what you're going to get. Is this going to be another piece of the puzzle? If you're going to the same location. What about yourself? Do you get that kind of
Yeah, that happens. I mean, we have some locations where some of the spirits will just give us everything, and then there's some where they don't. But you're 100% right. It's like a puzzle piece. You've got to take your research, and a lot of times we end up with more questions than we have answers. And if that ever happens, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right stuff. And the worst thing to do is make something up, because number one, it's disrespectful to the spirits. That's number one. And number two, it may not be right away, but eventually somebody will find the answers and they will check you. And when their research is different than yours, you better be able to back up your answers. And it's not just going to be, oh, well, this is just what I was told.
You see, that's the thing. I've said this in a few lives. You get, I know it's right in America, it's probably the same over there, but over here we'll have a few teams will say, right, we got this and we got tons of evidence and loads of it, but they never ever put their footage up. They never, they never back it up. They just say it's word of mouth. They just say it, and that's the last you hear it. And we like to put up what we get. Not that we're looking for glory or anything, but we're really investigating. If we get something, you want to share it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You're probably the same. When you do get we've had a couple of good captures in our time, and you give us, you go home at night, great capture, we pat in the back, stuff like that, But then,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sorry, buddy.
And there's nothing wrong to giving credit where credit's due. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's the people that sit there and overdo it. It's just like with alcohol and everything else. Moderation.
Yeah.
You have to have some humility.
Every question leads to an answer, same way as every answer leads to a question.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It certainly does. But I mean, I'm just a big believer. If you're going to state something, then at least there's something to back it up with.
And that's what we were saying earlier. We have to do the research. You have to do your due diligence. Like, you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, well, there's a guy named." Like, you go to a house. Oh, well, I'm getting a name Charles. Okay, well, there was no Charles ever lived here. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, like you said, you have to do your research, and you have to have that research to back it up. You have to back up your statements. Now, it is completely fine if you don't know to say, I really don't know. Like, I'm getting like Charles, like I there's somebody named Charles here. Well, who was Charles? I really don't know. I can't find anything about it. I can't find anything about this person.
That's
And
it.
that's perfectly fine.
It's okay if you don't know. I mean, if you don't know something, just put your hands up and say, "Look, I don't know." I mean, I've been in a few panels and maybe somebody in the chat's asked a question, and I remember what I'm not going to name them, but it was a long time ago, and I was on the panel, and this guy asked a question, and the other three panel members were just waffling on. It was a lot of crap, And then it came to me, and I says, "Look, I don't know, so I'm not going to. I can't comment on it because I don't know. I don't have any answer to it for you."
Well, Brian Laverty and Lex Paranormal, they do a show called Through the Lens on YouTube. Absolutely wonderful show. And Lex has said a couple of different times that he will have more respect for somebody who just comes out and said, "Hey, I didn't catch anything," or "I really don't know." And I'm the same way. Be honest and upfront. If you don't know something, you don't know. And if we both don't know, like if say somebody in your chat right now asks us a question, you don't know the answer, I don't know the answer. Cool. Share screen. Let's go to Google. Let's look it up. Let's find that information and get the audience involved with it. Or say, you know what? We'll get back with you. We'll find out.
Exactly.
And I have more respect for people like that.
But that's what, Brian and Lex, we had them on 5-6 weeks ago. Somebody, Brian and Lex on. They're down the earth, and Lex particularly says it how it is. I've watched a few of his podcasts, and sometimes he doesn't hang back, which is a good thing. To me, if something's annoying you, bugging, or something's not right, then come out and say it, But as you say, Matt, if you don't know the answer, just because you're doing a podcast, this is what you say, you've got all the answers. So somebody hits you with a question. I mean, it's happened to me quite a few times. Somebody will ask me a question, and you think, well, I get asked a question years ago about the Bible. And I go, well, no disrespect, but I've never read the Bible, so I can't answer that.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. Like even though I'm paranormal consultant, my wife and I were consultants, that doesn't mean we know everything. There's things that she knows that I don't. There's things I know that she doesn't. And there's things that we both don't know. And we'll get the answers. We'll help people out. But I don't know. It goes back to the entertainment thing. It's the same way about faking evidence. Don't fake facts either. Because at least with the facts, they'll eventually come out. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
I mean, if you're going to fake facts, people tend to forget that Google's a wonderful thing. So, I mean, I could sit on this show and state something, I know for a fact that John Henry lived at Hampton Court Palace, for instance. All somebody needs to do is Google it. See what that guy's talking.
Library, anything. You can find facts. Fact finding is very easy to do. It's just tedious. I mean, it can get very lengthy, but you'll find them. You'll find the facts.
And the answer is always there somewhere.
Oh yeah, and that's the fun of it. We see. I think a lot of people forget that we are paranormal investigators. Most of us, we're investigators. We're not ghost hunters because they're two separate. We are paranormal investigators. That name right there, investigate. We investigate. This is what we do. Some of us are pretty damn good at it.
That's it. We're quite lucky. We've got Laura, Jennifer, pardon me, Laura, Jennifer, Sarah, and Gail. They're good at the research and what have we. Doing I do a wee bit of digging as well now and again, but I'm usually too busy to talk to people and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But we're quite fortunate that we've got a really good team of researchers in it, and but you see that's the thing. We are investigators, and there are teams out there that are ghost hunters, as you say, Matt, and that's strictly what they do. They go out and hunt ghosts, and then they'll go home, and that's it till the following week, to the following weekend. Thanks, then, buddy. They'll go on a Friday night, hunt ghosts, go home. Next Friday, they'll go and hunt more ghosts.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. There's paranormal enthusiasts like ghost hunters. They just go out for the thrill of it. They have fun, whatever. Bless them. Let them do their thing. And then there's the investigators who are like us, who do the research, who actually go really in depth with it, and we take it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, being called a ghost hunter is kind of offensive, and I hate saying it like that, but it kind of is, because when I go out and I investigate somewhere, I'm doing my due diligence. I'm not just out there just for the fun of it. I'm trying to help spirits. I'm trying to help our clients. I'm trying to help other teams. And like when I do something with a consultant, again, the battleship, that was my most recent investigation. I was out to not only help the spirits, but I was also there to network with my family, my P3 family now. They all these
Mm-hmm.
individuals, and I'm trying to help them out and try to have some fun. And I'm trying to, do a bunch of different things. And it's more in depth. It's not just pick up your phone or, pick up the equipment and just run out to a cemetery or a haunted location and find them. No, you have to do more with it.
It's not just as you say. There are teams that do that, and fair play to them. Good luck if
Yeah.
that's their,
Yeah. God
their
bless them.
then as long as they're safe and what have you. But then you get the other ones, investigators, who like to go investigating, but then also like to dig. Basically, Sten's saying, apart from the EVP side of the field, my love is research, as you just don't know what you're going to find. Exactly, you don't know what you're going to find out until you start,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I,
researching a place, or whether it's a castle, a grave, whatever it may be. It's the same as these people who claim that they can. Now we don't do it because we don't know anything about it. That's me saying we don't know anything about it. House clearances and stuff.
okay.
We'll come in, we'll clear, we'll cleanse your house for you. Now I know there are people who could genuinely do it. Yourself included.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Johnson for Ghosted UK over here, he's really, really good at it. But there's other folk there, we'll come and cleanse your house for you, and they'll go into somebody's house. What do you think of this?
See, my thing, and I still stand by this. If somebody wants a house cleansing and they're saying they're having activity, like they say, hey, we're having doors open and close, or we're hearing voices, or even just footsteps or knocking, my thing is always get an investigation performed. Always have an actual investigation. Have a team come in, do a thorough investigation, see what's there, or who's there, or what's going on. So that way, because there's different types of blessings and cleansings. It's not just, you pick up your sage wand and just run through the house. No, it's not like that.
Mhm.
There's different ones for different things. And if you get something that's, let's just say, nasty, and you go in and you do like something really positive and just a genuine cleansing, that's going to make it very upset.
Aye,
It's
that's when you
and
keep it off.
yeah, especially with the D word, when you get like, you get one of those guys in there and you want to run around with a white sage bundle, a wand. It's just going to sit there and act like it's a cigarette. It's just, oh, that's cool. Yeah, sage, I love that. It's not going to care. It's going to make things worse. So
Yeah.
I always say, go in, do an investigation, see what's there, see who's there, and then act appropriately. Don't just run in and just do the blessing. And then if somebody, like, say, buys a new house, that's very big. I know a lot of the Catholic faith loves doing this. They love having people and bless their homes when they buy a new home. That's fine. That's great. Make sure you're doing the right blessing for it. But everybody needs to understand that there is a huge difference between a blessing and a cleansing. They're two separate. It's not the same thing. And I
That's
think a
exactly.
lot of people in our field forget that. They think a blessing and a cleansing is the same thing at the same time. You can, but make sure you're doing it in the right order. And again, you're doing the right one. And
Mhm.
it all comes back to being comfortable and being knowledgeable. If you don't know how to do it, don't do it.
Aye, exactly.
Because I always advise teams, especially ones who are newer in the field who want to do clients. The first thing I tell them is just remember, we're in there for what, 8 hours? Sometimes just 8 hours. These families have to live there. So
Yeah.
anything you say or do in the paranormal sense will affect them in the long term.
Aye, sticks with
So if
them.
you're not comfortable with that, Stay out.
It's with the if it's maybe an elderly person or someone that is maybe mental health issues or something, you get into their house and you're telling them, oh, there's definitely something here. When it could be the central heating pipes making a
Oh yeah.
noise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I met a woman and her kids a couple of weeks ago. I was at the park with the little one, and it was just sheer by chance. Her young daughter says to me, "I've seen you on TV." This wee one was about 10 or 12 years old, and she says, "I've seen you on TV," and I just kind of looked at her, and turned out she watches all the paranormal stuff. So I started talking to her mum. Turns out that a lot of things happen in their house, and the mother says to me, "Could you come to the house?" I said, "Well, we don't. That's not what we do." I said, "We could certainly come, do a wee investigation. We might not get into it." I said, "But as for advising you or house cleansing or whatever it is, that's no us. We don't do that, and we don't
And
know
that's
how to
fine.
do it."
And that's perfectly fine. If there's teams out there who just do investigations, that's fine, because that's a big step in helping these families. Is just the investigation. You're getting a huge amount of knowledge. And it's okay to be just researchers, or it's okay to be just the investigators, or it's okay to be just, evidence review. It's okay to be separate, because when you work together, that's when things work very well. It's a beautiful relationship, like the Global Ghost Hunt or the P3 family or anything we've been doing or anything you've been doing. If you can't be upfront, honest with each other, you can't be, as we say, full disclosure, and you can't have that mutual respect with each other, which means constructive criticism, complete honesty, and just having that respect. If you can't have all that, what you're doing will not work. It will not work in this field. And
Exactly.
I don't care if you're a little team. I don't care if you're a big team. I don't care if you've got a little podcast. I don't care if you got a big podcast. Anything in our field has to be that way. It has to be. And some people like it, some people don't. And you know what? Those who don't, to me, they're part of that problem. If you don't want to be honest, upfront, and respectful, you're part of the problem.
I basically don't go away. I mean, you said about criticism there. A lot of people can't take constructive criticism. And let's face it, as we said earlier on about the expert, nobody knows everything. We've had constructive criticism in the past, and it's totally fine because it's made me think. A quick example is we first started investigating. I had a habit of asking question over question. One after the other kind of thing. And then somebody says to me, "Don't do that way. You need to give spirit time to answer your first question before you ask your second one." And so I thought, the guy's right enough.
Yeah, it does. And just in case anybody's watching, the reason why for that is because it takes them time. It takes them time to build up the energy to answer us. So, or maybe they just want to be a little more shy, and that's why you have to be personable. Like I said earlier, whenever being entertaining, you don't want to go, "What's your name?" No. Say, "Hey, my name is Matt. What's your name? Who's here with me?" And then I usually say, wait about 10 to 15 seconds and then ask your question, ask another one. And yeah, you may seem like you're talking with yourself, and most of the time you probably are. But in the rare chances somebody's there, you're giving them that respect. And just like if I ask you a question, like Scott, say we just met, be like, "Hey, I'm Matt. How are you today?" I'm not just gonna say, "So what's your favorite, piece of equipment? What's this? What's that?" Or, we're not gonna jump down each other's throats. We're gonna give each other the chance. Yeah, it's like that. It's having a conversation.
Yeah, and I did have a bad habit for the first few, and then you see this guy says to me, and I thought, he's right enough. But it was criticism, but it was constructive criticism, and it made me learn through it. Basically, it's not a small thing, but it was still learning, in a way. And if you're not going to take constructive criticism, then what chance have you got?
Well, see, for me, when someone gives me constructive criticism, the first thing before you even think about what they're telling you or suggesting to you, just remember this: they're telling you this because they want to make you better. They want to help you. If you think of that first, open up that barrier and let them in. Let people be able to help you. Don't have a guard up all the time, as we say, or don't have a barrier up. Have that respect for somebody. Like, say I'm doing something like, I don't know who the Facebook user is, but if they say, okay, well, 15 to 20 seconds for me in between questions, that works best for me. Fair enough. Okay, so that works for you. So let me try it. Let me give it a shot. I know you're trying to help me. I'm going to try it that way. And who knows? Maybe 15 to 20 seconds is too long for me. Who knows? It's just understand that people are trying to help you.
Well, that's we use the cat balls quite a bit, and I used to just put them on the ground, or on a headboard, flat surface, whatever, or just throw them somewhere and just keep an eye out for them, But it was David from big Scottish Paranormal Investigations Group. He says to me, put a glass over it. Because then that takes out all the, like the wind or, whatever, touching it. Yeah. And we never thought of doing that. So the last investigation that's been done, I took it's actually an old chopping board we've got. It's a wooden chopping board, no, a heat board. And I put the ball in there and I put the glass over it and we just left it. And so that was a wee, he says, no, don't leave it lying, just put it. And so he was helping us, and it's another way of looking at it. So, well, that's a better idea. So we're going to. It's not like you're copying them. It's somebody's gave you a wee bit of advice or whatever, and you've thought about it, and you think, aye, that could work.
I've seen people use like Tupperware, like the storage containers, the plastic containers. I've seen them use that. I've seen them use that in the field. Just put a cat ball in there, shut it, let it go. Energy can pass through that, no problem. So be creative. And that's the other thing with this field is if you have an idea, use it, go for it. Because what works, like Scott, I know when you investigate what's working for you. Never mind. That's right there. What works for some may not work for others. Make it your own personal thing. Like when I teach how to investigate, I want to see what these people are naturally doing. Like that's how I train every one of my investigators when I was running these teams. And I just give them the equipment and say, okay, well, here, go out and let me see what you're doing. And then we tweak it from there. And then they build their own type of investigation style and promote that, boost that. Don't try to teach somebody one way of doing it. No, because the spirits are going to react differently to each and every person because our personalities are different. That's the big thing people need to understand is when you're training somebody, people's personalities are going to come through in their investigation style. Don't train them one way. Best thing to do, give them the equipment, explain the equipment. Like say somebody's never seen an EMF meter or a K2 meter or whatever. Show them it. Say, this is how it works. This is what we do with it. Here you go. Go out. Try to make it work. Have some fun with it. Do you. Do what you're comfortable with. And again, once you build them that way, they're comfortable, which is what you want. They're confident because once they get a response from the K2 or from any piece of equipment, they're going to build that confidence in themselves. And on top of that, they're learning. They're learning how to react to these spirits. And if they already know from day one that they can be themselves, that you don't need to be like these people on TV. I'm not going to give out names, but they don't have to be like that. They can be themselves. Then the spirits are going to want to be, they're going to want to come talk with them. They're going to want to be investigated. They're going to want to hang out. Clients are going to want to deal with them, and you're building up a successful investigator. And that's what it's about. I just hate people. That's one of my pet peeves is they're like, oh, a how-to guide on how to be an investigator. That's real easy. Be yourself.
Aye. We get told last year that we were investigating the wrong way. I thought, well, what's the right way? There isn't a right or a wrong way. I've not been big-headed, but if we were told, well, you're investigating the wrong way, and I started thinking back the evidence that we've caught. Thought, well, we must be doing something right because we seem to be getting, results. But But as you say, I just go be yourself. I think spirit will react to you better if, because let's face it, you know, you can meet somebody in life in the physical, and you know when they're putting on a face,
Yep.
you know, or they're trying to be something that they're not. I've met a few like that in my time. Spirit's the same. Spirit might meet you. You know, you go investigating Mark. Spirit might meet you and say, "No, he's not what he seems to be." You know, so I'm not going to go talking to him.
Yeah.
You know,
No, they just may not like me. That's
because
fine.
they just don't like you. I'm not talking to you. Sod off. But then if you just go and you just yourself, you're laid back, you're talking to them as if they're sitting in a chair next to you. Who knows? They might be. You know, they're sitting next to you, and you're just having a general normal conversation. I mean, my old flat sort of apartment. That's what we call.
I get it. Trust me, I'm starting to learn your guys' lingo from the UK. I'm starting to learn. Been networking with a lot of you wonderful people from the UK, and I absolutely love it. So I'm starting to learn.
My old flat. I used to stay myself, and there was things happened in the house I couldn't explain, like my TV remote. I was quite. I was kind of OCD. Every night when I put the TV off, I'd take the remote and I'd place it in front of the TV. You know, I'd done it every single night. One day I got up and I could not find it. I was not in front of the TV. And I hunted everywhere for it. And by chance, I found it underneath. I had a double bed, maybe about that much off the ground. I noticed something under the bed. And it was my TV remote. Now, I can't explain how it, but there's no way I would have put my TV remote underneath my bed. But however, I used to have a load of Buddhas, and I would come in for work, and my Buddhas had been moved. I say, you know, I was quite OCD with my Buddhas. I knew exactly, like 15 Buddhas or something, and I knew exactly the way everyone sat. And so I'd come in for work, say that I think that Buddha's moved, you know. But what did he say? I spoke to my landlord one day, and he says there is meant to be the previous tenant died in the bedroom under unfortunate circumstances. So what I started doing was, and people at work thought I was nuts, but however, I'd go home at night, and you know, I'd get in, I stay myself with, and I would just start telling them about my day, you know, what a day I had to do, absolute crap, you know. And I'd say hello and I'd say goodbye, you know, coming in or leaving. I say, right, I'll see you when I come in, going to work, bye. And all the wee bits and pieces stopped happening, as if, you know, whoever it is that was there had thought, right, well, he knows I'm here now. You know, I'm getting acknowledged, so I'll stop messing about with his Buddhas kind of thing. And I would find myself, anybody looking through my window would think he's just sitting there talking to himself. You know?
Yeah, and you know what? That's perfectly fine to do that. And a lot of times I found, you know, that's what's going on. Like a lot of these families are reporting, you know, all these different things. Well, come to find out, maybe they had a family member or a friend pass away a couple months before. It's like they're probably here letting you know they're fine. They're probably trying to tell you something, you know, and you got to remember too that a lot of these intelligent spirits, and I'm not calling other ones stupid. I'm just saying intelligent is a type of haunting. I know a lot of people like to jump on that, but these intelligent style hauntings, you know, that's all they want. They want the attention. They're trying to say something. They get frustrated because most of us can't hear them audibly. We can't hear them. So they feel like they're being ignored. They feel all this stuff and they get upset and they start acting out. You know, that's usually when we get called, when a team gets called in, is
it's like
just
kids. They're like kids, you know, if a kid's not getting attention, then they'll do something, you know, break an ornament or, you know, whatever, to get that bit of attention. And as you say, an intelligent haunting is, you know, when you get direct response. I've got a question for you, 2 seconds. One of the funniest ones I ever had was we were having a walk around an old power station, and I had the K2 meter with me, and we'd been up the stairs. I said, right, we'll go down the stairs now, and we've investigated it before. And I said, we'll go down the stairs and we'll have a wee look at the back. So we went down, and I had the K2 meter, and I put it on the staircase, and I thought we'll have a cigarette before we go round. I lit up a cigarette, and just I don't even know why I asked it, but I says, you know, if there's anybody here, if you want a cigarette, make that go to yellow, make that box go to yellow, and it went to yellow. Straight up.
Oh, I've had that. I've had that. I've had him ask to go to get a beer with us. To go get a drink. You know,
I said to you again, I says, you know, make it, touch it, you know, make the box light up again if you want a cigarette, and it done it. And so I put the cigarette down beside the key. I left it in the stair. I says, right, there's a cigarette. You know, I'm leaving it here for you. Are you going to say thank you? If you're going to say thank you, just touch that box again. Make it go, and it went to yellow. And
that's direct response. That's beautiful.
And I left the cigarette on the stairs. You know, I wouldn't take it away. Obviously, can he smoke it? But it was just the sheer fact that as soon as I said, do you want a cigarette? Aye. You know, so obviously it's a spirit there that used to be a smoker. And, you know, somewhere up here they must still, I could go a cigarette, you know. That a wee question for you there. To Kathy.
So Kathy, yes, I did get everything. I haven't had a chance to get everyone's contracts downloaded yet. I was a little busy yesterday. But we'll be in contact. Just shoot me a message on Facebook if you haven't already, or send me a friend request, and we'll chat. But thank you, and welcome to the P3 family. But it's been fun. It's been a fun weekend for me. Oh my gosh! But I hate doing this, brother. But I got to get going. I got to get ready for
That's
work.
right, buddy. That's all right. I need to go and pick up Sarah's up at home.
You know,
but we will get you back because I think we've got loads more to chat about.
Oh, I got to get you on my show as well. I got to get all of y'all on my show. But you know, it's.
I said yesterday I did do my eyebrows for you.
I see that. See,
I'll tell you what else. Just quickly before we wind up, I actually got some hair. I wait. You see this? This is. I was told last night I looked like it was a cross between Gene Simmons and a young Brian May. Know what I mean?
Okay. I can see it. Yeah, I can see the Brian May. Now, I don't know about Gene Simmons, but I can see it. Oh, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
You can see it because I saw it all. I can't see nothing. Actually, I forgot that was. I meant to put that away. But we'll wind up. What's next for you, Matt? What's next up for you?
Oh, what isn't? Got a couple investigations lined up. I'm going to be filming with Minnesota Spirit Hunters. I'll be filming with a couple other groups and teams, and besides my show, I mean, I've got a lot.
He's a busy, but check him out. Matt Barn, the Paranormal Consultant, top man, top dog, as they say. But we'll be back because we've tons more to chat to. But we'll wind up there, people. Thanks very much for watching. And remember, check the man out. We're back we're doing a daytime investigation this Thursday with Rigger for Spig. And then we'll get Rigger in on Thursday night talking about what we might catch or what we might not catch. We're just going to talk about investigation, see what happens. There's Sarah. Sarah's coming in as we're going out. Know what I mean? I'll be up in about 10 minutes. Sarah, so we'll wind up there, folks. We did a show with Nadine. We did a show together. I don't know if that's for you or for me. Don't know who that's for. Laura says, great live, guys. Thanks, no. So we'll wind up there because Matt's a busy man. And
I wish I could do this 7 days a week, full times. I'd love to do this as a full-time job, but sadly I cannot right now.
It's just no feasible. So we'll wind up there, folks, and we'll talk to you on Thursday. hope you enjoyed the show. And as for wait a minute, as for Matt, he was driving at the time.
Oh, okay. I think yep. I mean, you need to be a little more specific, Kathy. I drive a lot and do these videos, but I think I remember. I think I remember.
He does a lot of in-car videos. Yes, V, I'll be up to get you in about I'll be up to get you in about 10 minutes. Don't worry. I mean, so thanks very much for coming in, folks. Mind check Matt out, sort of that Matt out, and he's over the other side of the pond, and we'll see you in Thursday. Hopefully. Take care for now. Bye. Bye.